بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وعلى كل من استنى بهداه إلى يوم الدين وبعد. This is your brother Abu Abad Abdul Mutakabbir making a recording from our brother Umar Ramadan, who is a student of knowledge that Allah has blessed to give service to the da'wah here in Buffalo, New York. And he's going to discuss a circumstance that happened between him and Abu Abdul Malik, Abdul Haqq, at his masjid where he teaches and educates at Masjid Darussalam in Buffalo. فليتفضل مشكورا.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. So as Abu Abad, may Allah preserve him, mention, my name is Umar from Buffalo, New York. I attend Masjid Darussalam in Buffalo, New York on 75 East Parade Street. And I give the weekly khutbah there majority of the times, or maybe a brother or two may fill in throughout the week, another week.
How long have you been teaching again?
I've been there for about probably like 7 years, probably like 7 years. So, regards to brother Abu Abdul Malik, Abdul Haqq, we first met the brother maybe about 6-7 years ago. He came for a weekend to give us some lectures and some classes through another brother who invited him, a brother named Mahmoud. May Allah preserve him, here in Buffalo, New York. That's when we first met our brother Abdul Haqq. This was about 6-7 years ago. He came for that weekend, and then that was that. Recently, probably maybe about 6-7 months ago, I can't really recall when, but rather one of our brothers in the community, he's from Trinidad, his name is Muhammad Trinidad. He's been in contact with brother Abdul Haqq since that first time he came around. Throughout the years, he's always been in contact with him based on what he told us. And he was informed that the brother was looking for a community to come to. He was traveling around the United States looking for different communities to go to. And he encouraged them to come to Buffalo, New York, due to the need of a strong student of knowledge, some da'wah, some classes. It would be beneficial. He thought it would be beneficial for the brother to come here. I believe he traveled to Atlanta, Georgia, as he mentioned to us. He also traveled to Florida. I believe he traveled to Michigan as well. So the day when he came, the first day he came, we had dinner at Brother Muhammad Trinidad's house. It was love and welcome. We ate. He ended up giving some classes at our Masjid Darussalam the next day. So I invited people to come to the classes, especially some of my friends who accepted Islam. They were new to Islam. They came to the classes. A couple other brothers came to the class. He gave some good classes. That was a Monday, I believe so. Yes, it was a Monday. Along with the attendees of that class was a brother. I believe he's from Bangladesh descent. He knew brother Abdul Haqq from, I believe, Queens. So he also came to that class, and he encouraged Abdul Haqq to come to his masjid, which is the masjid is entitled Tawheed Islamic Cultural Center, the masjid in which Abu Abad is now the imam in. So our brother Abdul Haqq, he gave a class at our masjid on Monday, and then the next day he went to the Tawheed masjid and he gave some classes there, which they were beneficial. And I went to that class as well, and a few of us from our masjid went to that class. And then the next day he came back to our masjid and give classes there. So it was like he would go one day here, one day at our masjid, the next day he would go to the Tawheed masjid. I guess trying to fill out a community, trying to figure out where he would be the imam at. During the week, I asked our he's the imam, the president, Imam Tariq, if Abu Abdul Malik Abdul Haqq could give the khutbah this week, and he said he can give the khutbah. So our brother Abdul Haqq, he gave the khutbah that Friday, the first week he came, and he gave the khutbah. It was a good khutbah, and I introduced the brother to the community, mentioning that this is a student of knowledge. He studied with Sheikh Salih Fawzan in Riyadh and things like this. The next week, it seemed as if the brother Abdul Haqq, he stopped coming to our masjid, the Darusalam. Most likely, I assume, is that maybe the attendees at our masjid wasn't so many, because it's not that many people who come to the masjid. So, but there's a lot of people that went to that Cheek the Waga masjid. So perhaps he went to that masjid and gave classes there. So he was giving classes there, and then I believe he gave the khutbah there 2 weeks in a row. And then he traveled, and he went somewhere, and I went to Kuwait. And when I came back from Kuwait, I came back to the masjid, and I prayed Maghrib, and after I salamed out, brother Abdul Haqq, he came into the masjid, which I was surprised, because he didn't come to the masjid or show up for, I can't give you a time frame on how long it had been. It wasn't too long, but he was giving classes like every other day. So when I seen him, I was surprised, but I was happy to see him. We greeted, we salamed. When I was in Kuwait, I was informed that when I came back, I guess another brother who frequented our masjid, he got him in contact with brother Tariq, who was the administrator of the masjid, as I mentioned, and he was supposed to give the khutbah the following day on Friday, which I was happy about. So during the Thursday, Abdul Haqq, he ended up taking brother Tariq. He picked him up in his car, based on the statement of brother Tariq. He picked him up, and he took him out for dinner. And he told him about the plan of him wanting to be the imam, and saying that he will be the imam, but he wants everything in full control. Everything has to be signed over to his name, everything. So based on Tariq's statement, he also mentioned that we were on board, myself, Umar, a couple other brothers, such as my father-in-law, and a couple other brothers as well. Tariq was caught off guard. He didn't know anything about it. So the next day, he ended up asking us. During this dinner as well, Tariq mentioned that Abdul Malik, he offered him $5,000. And he told him, this is between me and you. Don't tell anybody, but this is a gift. So Tariq said, doesn't this sound like bribing to me? He said, no, it's not bribing. And he told him that it wasn't bribing. Tariq didn't accept the money. So that Friday, Tariq texted me and said, we need to talk. And he told me what was going on about brother Abdul Haqq, that he wants to be the imam of the masjid. However, he's saying that everything needs to be put in his name. And he said that we were on board. I said, I never had any idea about anything like that. So he said, well, he's saying that I need an answer by tomorrow. He told him, I need an answer by tomorrow on what y'all gonna do. So we told him, I told Tariq, nah, man, that's crazy. Other brothers told him as well, such as brother Abdul Haqq, nah, that's crazy. We're not gonna do that. We never agreed to anything like that. So this is before Jumu'ah. Before Jumu'ah. Tariq mentioned this to me. That Friday, now Jumu'ah, Abdul Haqq, he gives the khutbah. And during the khutbah, he gave the khutbah. After the khutbah, I reintroduced the brothers. No, I didn't reintroduce the brothers to him because they already knew about him. However, after that, say it again?
It's still recording.
Okay. So after he gave the khutbah, later that night, we had a class. We had a theater class from our brother Bashir Nelson. Before the class, Abdul Haqq came to the class. He led the salah, and he started talking on the mic right after the salah, even though Brother Bashir was supposed to give the class. So he stayed on the mic trying to give a class or whatever, but it was already a brother's time to give the class. I don't know if he knew. Okay, so he didn't know. Alhamdulillah. So after the theater class, he gave the class, Bashir, he left. After Abdul Haqq, he came back to the masjid, and we all sat down in like a circle, and we had a meeting. I'm under the impression that Abdul Haqq didn't know that we knew that he didn't know that we knew what was going on with regards to him asking for full control over the masjid, nor did he know that we know that he tried to offer Tariq money. So we had a meeting in the sitting, and we talked. And during the meeting, myself personally, it was about 5 of us in the meeting. I was asking them probing questions, such as, why didn't you take the imam position at the Cheektowaga Masjid? Because you were going there a lot, and you stopped coming here. Why didn't you take that position? He said, that's personal. I said, it's not personal, because if you want to be the imam here, we want to know why you didn't take that position. Because obviously a reason why you didn't take that position. He said that because that masjid is a Tablighi masjid, and also he didn't want a masjid in which it was one culture or one type of people, because the Cheektowaga masjid is mostly Bengali. That was his one statement. And also during the meeting, he got very aggressive, and I believe he took from me that I was aggressive with him because of my straightforwardness with him asking him questions, such as, so if you want to be the imam, do you think that we'll tell you, hey, you can't give the khutbah on this, you can't give the khutbah on that? And he's saying, no, I want full control. Like, nobody can be on the majlis or the papers, the administration papers. I'm going to bring in my own crew. I'm going to start Quran classes. I'm going to bring in my own. I don't want anybody on it. So then after the meeting, we all walked away. Like, this guy is crazy. He's bugging. I called Tariq and I texted him. I said, just tell him that, to kick rocks, keep it moving. We don't want him because it seems like he has a hidden agenda. So Tariq texted him and told him that basically, well, we will have to decline your offer. We can't accept your terms. Your terms being that you need an answer by the next day, and you want everything to be signed over in your name. Mind you, we don't know this guy like that. But he just popped up and asked for us to make him the imam. Also, he during that first meeting, he was very aggressive, trying to say like, where any Salafi masjids? Where's the Salafi masjids? Who else is Salafi around here? Is this he actually started off the meeting saying, is this a Salafi masjid? We say it's a Salafi masjid. Subscribes to Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. He said, and he asked about is there any other Salafi masjids around here? I said, it's so many masjids here. I can't say that it's not. I don't know everybody in Buffalo. So that kind of triggered him, I believe so. After that meeting, that Friday night, at the end of that, after I mentioned to Tariq, because I help out Tariq with giving a khutbah and things like this, I told him, hey, just tell him like we good. And other brothers told him as well. Other brothers advised him as well. After that, the Saturday, for some reason, other brothers, they brought up the issue again, and they called for another meeting after Tariq already told him, like, hey, we're good. You know, if you need help with your new masjid, I'm here to help you out, but we can't agree to your terms. So they called another meeting Saturday night, the next day. And during that meeting, it was a brother named Jeffron, a brother named Muhammad Trinidad, my father-in-law, and brother Abdul Haqq. They were there at the meeting in the beginning. I came late because I got a call saying, hey, we're having this meeting at the masjid. Can you come to the meeting? They were already in the midst of it. I came in the midst of it. Once I got there, Abdul Malik, Abdul Haqq, as soon as I got there, I believe they already spoke about a few different things when I got there. When I got there, he looked to me and started talking about me, saying that I made him feel really low. He felt like I disrespected him. He's my elder. You shouldn't talk to people of knowledge like this, students of knowledge like this. You made me feel really low, the way how I basically took up for the masjid, and I spoke to him directly. And I asked him questions directly about how did he want to go about being an imam. So during that, I didn't say anything to him, anything like that. Afterwards, he said to the brothers again, he said, so what do you guys want from me? Like, what can I do for you guys? What can I do for you guys? Before I came already, I'm making this inference based on what was said after he said that. My father-in-law, he told him, again, I guess he already told him this. He said, you can give some classes, you can give the khutbah, but you can't get no control over the masjid. We're not giving you no control over the masjid. He said, you just told me this. This is what Abu Abdul Malik said. He said, you just said this. My father-in-law repeated him again. You're not getting control over the masjid. You can give khutbahs, you're not getting control over the masjid. Why do you keep saying this? Why do you keep saying this? This is what Brother Abdul Haqq, he got really aggressive. From there, it almost got physical. And he rushed in my father-in-law's face. My father-in-law told him, said, you better get back and stuff like that. And other brothers that broke it up. After that, he also mentioned Abdul Haqq. This masjid is a masjid of politics. And he rushed out. However, I believe the adhan got called off, so he came back in. He prayed with us, and then he left. From there, that was basically the end of the situation there. Well, at our Masjid Darussalam. But, alhamdulillah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
If you want to have some extra food, if you like to,